In our last episode, we hit that wow moment together. The science of that internal influence, the realization that I wasn't just a host, but the literal architect of my child's biological expression. It changed the whole game for me. I remember racing to talk with my hubby, and the second he finally understood it too, and agreed, the very air in the room just felt different. The hard no we had lived in for so long, that heavy, ironclad rejection of anything other, had finally softened into a maybe. But I quickly realized that a maybe brings its own set of very different, very loud, and very overwhelming questions. At the time, I honestly thought these were just process questions. I thought I was just looking for a technical how-to guide to get from point A to point B. I was focused on the medical steps, the appointments, the costs, and the staggering task of how to even begin to choose a donor from a list of profiles. I was diving headfirst into the logistics, because the logistics felt like something I could actually control with a spreadsheet and a credit card. But I know now that the how-to wasn't the question I should have been focusing on first. I just didn't know what I didn't know back then. I had to discover, through a lot of painful trial and error while making high-stakes decisions along this path, that every single choice always came back to one thing: what was best for our child. Truly. Not what was easiest for me, not what was fastest for the clinic, but what was best for the person I was bringing into this world. So, let me save you endless hours of that same confusion right here. Before you do anything else, before you call a clinic or browse a single donor database, you need to answer this one question first. You don't know what you don't know. Welcome to Donor Egg Diary. I am a mom on a mission. I'm not a doctor or a clinical expert. I am just someone who went through it. I promised myself that I would share all the information I could so others like you may go into it with your eyes wide open. And why does this matter? Because you can make more informed decisions for your situation and for your child. And what's even better, you can access this 24/7. You can get answers without the endless research loop I did, and you can do it all with total anonymity. Let's get back to it. This is the most important thing you will most likely ever do in your life, right? Raising a human being is a monumental task under any circumstances. So, before you even consider getting this process started, I want to ask you a hard, soul-searching question. Will you focus on how understanding your child's potential future needs is actually your very first act of intentional parenting? This is how you gain the clarity to make great decisions for your child now, long before they are even born. I know this is a loaded question, so let's break it down for a second, because I know how loud your own needs are screaming right now. Most of us start this journey by looking strictly at what we need to stop the pain of infertility. And that makes total sense. That need, that deep, aching hunger to be a mother, is the drive and the motivation that moves us along the bumpy, traumatic path in the first place. Our goal was always unified. We wanted our child to be safe, loved, and secure. But early on, it was just about needing to get pregnant like everyone else. We just wanted to have our baby and stop the feeling of being broken. We figured the unknown risks were the same as any other pregnancy. It was all about just being successful at it. We wanted the positive test. We wanted the delivery room. We wanted the finish line. We were chasing success with a capital S. But now, when you consider using a biological donor, the rules of the game change. It isn't just about getting pregnant and having a baby successfully anymore. It can't be. There is so much more to consider here than just a medical success rate or a clinical outcome. Intentional parenting starts by asking a question that most people don't ask until their kids are in therapy 20 years later. What will this little person need from me 20 years from now? When you focus on their future needs first, their need for truth about their origins, their need for a complete medical history, and their need for a coherent, proud story of how they came to be, those process questions actually become easier to understand on a much deeper level. Because now, you finally have your North Star. You aren't just a patient anymore. You are a parent protecting a human legacy. Wait, let's take a second for a reality check. This is a safe space, not a doctor's office. This isn't medical or legal advice. There is zero pressure here. My mission is to give you the insider track as I experienced it. But you are the one that must decide for you. Take this information, do your own research, and then make your own choices boldly. Now, back to it. We decided to begin the research not because we had all the medical answers. We certainly didn't. But because we finally had enough hope to start asking the right questions. We moved from the desperate, fearful, could we, to the determined, we're going to find out how. But as we stepped into that research, we realized something major. The logistics are just the surface level. Underneath the medical steps, there is a much bigger decision waiting for us. A decision that isn't about our success as patients, but about our child's future happiness as a person. In the next episode, we move to episode 7, your first major decision. We're shifting from how do I survive this trauma to how do I help my child thrive in their own story. We're going to look at the 4 questions that change everything for the child you can't wait to meet. This is where the roadmap gets very real. I'll see you there.